Kind of hard to articulate what it's supposed to be. I don't know how you reminded it, honestly. Reading the description of it, I didn't understand at all what the song was born. Frankly. It's not like sort of, oh, it's a high pass or low pass or something. It's like this thing that you can literally collapse the tone, expand the tone. Like when you were doing the phase kind of stuff that's like very slight, it's almost like the sound of like moving the microphone around in front of the speaker cone.
Or your head.
Yeah, returning your head. Yeah, it's like, like you're more or less oblique to the sound.
Yeah.
Like to be able to do that kind of stuff very slowly and in exactly the way you want, along with the music and not being dependent on LFO moving or some other factor, is like, it's a type of expression that's like really, really cool. But somehow this was different. Maybe it's because it also has that underlying direct sound to the guitar sometimes too. So you have the thing that's the foundation, and the top of it is like changing perspective. It's like the light is gleaming off it in different ways.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's some quality of clarity that's retained in it, like the sort of musicality of the thing exists on one plane, and then on top of it there's this crazy harmonic sort of like transmorphing that happens on top of it, but you still can tell what the chord is underneath it, or if like you were doing a drone with single note stuff over it, and you could totally hear the shape of those fingerings, but then with this stuff evolving over the top of it, When you have a filter, like a high pass or low pass filter, there's always that special moment right before it closes up, like when you just are totally turning off the signal. And to me, filters are often defined by the quality, like how is it when it blossoms, like when the first ray of sun breaks over the hill. Like what is it like? Is it like a sort of a spread of light, or is it a direct beam of light? Or is it just all of a sudden just like this glow that comes out, And there's something like really, really amazing about this thing when you were using the low pass and stuff too, where it's like sort of, it really just kind of collapses in a way. It's not like you're just turning the volume down on it. It's sort of, again, to use the console analogy, it's like with a good console EQ, where you will just kind of feel this feeling of like as you turn a mid-range control down, you feel the center of the thing literally draining away, and you can perceive the shape of what that tonality is like. It's like sometimes it's like a depression, but in the case of this thing, often it's like a sort of like a wave of some sort. You can just sort of feel what it's like as the thing goes away or as it opens up. And that to me is like a really interesting thing.
One of my favorite things that happened is when we were trying to do like this crazy fuzz and distortion into a scooped setting. I think it was my favorite because I hadn't heard it, and I expected what this scooped fuzz thing was going to sound like, but then you had the frequency knob attached to the expression pedal, and you pushed up the frequency to like 2K or something, and then you started doing the whammy thing, and I was like, My Bloody Valentine. And I was like, I didn't know it did that.
Well, it was a really surprising thing just because there was a continuous like, oh wow, there's a phaser happening out there. It's like, oh wow, there's like a sort of wah thing happening over there. It's like, oh wow, there's like a crazy square wave distortion thing with this harmonic, like moving harmonic wah effect that's happening with it. It's sort of like really difficult to articulate what it is.
Yeah.
You know, that is interesting because it's not just telling one story. It's almost like you can sort of, oh, I could go here with it, and I could hear you like you're playing something. It's like, oh, I could do that,
Yeah.
and then you start doing that.
Yeah.
And so it's like it encourages you to explore, which is always something in a pedal that I want personally. You know?
Well, it's funny, the pedal itself it put me in a mood then. I started
Yeah.
playing things like this, you know, or whatever.
It's great. It's like a Space Staples Singers, you know?
You were talking about the nature of the ramping, which is unique on this pedal to other Chase Bliss pedals, where usually the ramping is a little more triangular, and this one's a little bit more lumpy at the top. So the tremolo for ramping the volume is a new kind of sound relative to some of the other ramping I've done in other pedals. And it's cool that you picked up on it because I
thought it sounded more buoyant, where it's sort of like whoom, whoom, where you have like there's a little drum. It's like sort of slightly less gravity as you hop along the surface. You know,
Yeah.
you loft a little higher. It's like being on the moon.